Fantasy is a huge genre with a wide variety of settings and stories that can be told in it. However, might have noticed that one kind of main character keeps popping up over and over again, and that is the Farm Boy. It's in Star Wars, Wheel of Time, the Christopher Paolini Aragon series, the Belgrade, which I just finished, and many others. They all start with a boy on the farm. And recently, after I finished the Belgrade series, I was wondering why exactly do writers keep going back to the farm boy as the starting character. Now, this might seem like a very simple question with a very easy answer, and it's the hero's journey. The hero's journey is like a plot guideline rulebook that George Lucas was a big fan of, and you can see in both the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. This outline came from a book written by Campbell, which I haven't read, but it's also really thick and a more scholarly book, in where he identifies common tropes in the entirety of ancient literature. And one of these archetypes was the humble farm boy as the person who started the journey. Now, some people might just brush it off saying, well, that's the hero's journey. It's just a archetype that resonates with a lot of people, and that's why people do it. But I'm not exactly satisfied with that, and I want to try to find a reason that is more in line with the science of writing. And so after some thinking, I think I identified 3 main reasons why so many stories begin with naive farm boys, and how these reasons help you write a better story. The first reason is one that's linked more back to the ancient origins, and that's that for a story, you want a main character who's easily identifiable and that the audience likes. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this, but the one way is just make the protagonist like the audience. And back in the ancient times, there were a lot of jobs, but there were especially a lot of farmers. The stories had to be enjoyed by the common people too. And whether accidentally or on purposely, they made the choice of making the heroes start as farmers or smith workers or someone more common and ordinary, so that the audience could sit there and be like, oh, he's just like me. This is not cheating shortcut, just one way to make the audience like a character more. Think about it. Who would you identify more with? The glammy, famous actor with billions of dollars, or the average Joe who goes and works 9 to 5 at a job? Most of us, it's going to be the average guy. And that's what it was too. Just back then, there was different common jobs than now. Now, the second reason I found is a narrative trick, which is especially good if you're just introducing the audience to the world, is that if you have a naive peasant who hasn't really gone past his small village, then he's not going to know a lot more about the world. And so when the more knowledgeable characters, who usually come and drag him off of the farm, according to Theo's journey, kicking and screaming, then when they teach the farm boy, they can also teach us the things about the different kingdoms in the world, customs, factions, and then we get it in a way that's less info dumpy and fits with the story. And so you don't have anything like a maid and butler of, as you know, the English have always been at war with the France. The peasant boy in Greece might not know that, but now because he's being drugged to go bring crown jewels to the King of England, completely made up story here, but then he kind of has to know that. And so us as the audience would know that too. Finally, and I'm going to use a little bit of a video game analogy here, is if he's an ignorant farm boy, the character usually starts at level 0, and he might be gifted with special powers, or secretly be force sensitive, or secretly be king, but he doesn't have that yet. He starts at level 0 just as common person, and we get to watch as he learns and claws his way up, leveling up each time to become stronger and stronger, and that gives a challenge, and the main character has to learn and grow, which excites us, and we like to see characters who better themselves. You can do static characters about characters who don't learn anything, but for the most part, most stories, the character learns things because we like it. Now, you can write stories where the characters don't grow or learn anything, like Sherlock Holmes. For the most time, we like reading, and so stories about characters who struggle and have to get better are fun. And with a farm boy, you can watch him go from level 0 all the way up to the king of in the Belgrade or whatever else. Now, this really doesn't have to just be with farm people. Mistborn then is a street urchin, and we get to see her learn and grow how to become a Mistborn, and that is kind of the same leveling up structure. And I personally do enjoy the things where the characters have to learn and grow with their skills and become more mature. Well, those are just my thoughts on why a lot of stories start with farm boys. If you can think of any more reasons, leave them in comments because I'd be interested to hear of them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.